For all of my 10 years in business, I have been acutely aware that I have no social life. And as a matter of fact, I went to a retreat a couple of years ago, and my coach, my coach looked at me and she was like, "Chelsea, get a life, girl." In the kindest way possible, but also like calling me out, right? And I think that in the past several months, really, I have been very intentional, actually coming up on a year now, I think. I've been very intentional about trying to create a social life at what, 33, 34, my big old grown age, trying to create a social life because I never had it all my life up until this point. And if you know anything about me, you know that I am a hardcore introvert, even though I don't seem like it. Nobody believes me when I say that I'm an introvert. I am the flavor. I'm also the flavor of introvert. That's like roll me up, put me in my bed, give me a sci-fi or fantasy book, and don't talk to me for 3 days, or like send me off to the bush in some mountain hill tree situation and just leave me alone. Like that is the flavor of introvert I am. Like love me yard or bush girl. One of those two. And so if Chelsea were a Pokemon or a Gigapet, is that like what it was? For those of us who remember what Gigapets are, I don't even like the G word can't come out of my mouth. Gigapet. For those of us who remember what those were, the native habitat of Chelsea, Pokemon version or Gigapet version, is mountain woods situation or bed, bed with a book. And and I think the reason why I sort of developed that level of introversion, I think I am naturally an introvert. I do recharge by myself, I don't recharge with people, but I developed an extreme sort of manifestation of that introversion because all my life I have not felt like I fit in anywhere. I have definitely been from very, very small. I mean, like, from I knew myself, from I knew enough to know that I was a person at about 4 or 5, never felt like I fit in anywhere. This is from summer camps, coming back to primary school here in Jamaica, which people would call elementary school in other places. Going back all the way through high school, even though I joined the orchestra and played the cello. Like, even though I found spaces and even though I did have friends, I would literally come home every day to my parents for years. I'm talking like more than likely a decade of my life because it was all through primary school, which is what, 6 years, grades 1 through 6. And then, like, what, 4 more years of high school? Five, 7? How many years was I in high school? 7 years. Yeah, because we in Jamaica we have five, grade 7 to grade 11, which is 5 years, and then we have 2 additional years before college. So yeah, never ever really felt like I had a place, y'all. And after a while, stopped looking because the pain of being on the outskirts, the pain of not feeling like you fit, even when you have friends, even when you have people that you are surrounded by, the pain of like not being heard and seen and known fully for who you are is real. And I felt that every day. I was the friend who listened. I was the friend who did favors. I was the friend who supported and cheered people on. I was not the friend who was fully seen for who I was. And I don't think it was anybody's fault per se, because kids are selfish. Kids are very self-centered. We are like, what, belly button examiners, is that the phrase? Like, we're very like looking down at ourselves, looking into ourselves. We're like, when we're kids, we're just like that. And so it's no surprise to me that the kids that I knew were like that. And I never really had a space because I didn't take up space. And I wasn't naturally, I didn't have that natural skill of taking up space. Um, and I think that that's because of my introversion. I was always like quiet, and I was always like a book reader in person. And I hadn't yet gained the skill of like articulating my needs, of communicating, of speaking up and speaking out, of being the first one to introduce myself in a room, of being brave enough to walk up to another child and be like, "Hi, I'm Chelsea. Let's be friends." Like I was never that girl. And so I think after a while, I stopped looking. I stopped looking because it hurt, and also to compound the problem, little Miss Inner Critic in Chelsea's brain be very loud and very mean because she is a protector by all costs and at any expense. You know how our inner critics are literally just trying to protect us? Like, girl, mine was trying to protect me no matter the cost. And if that meant like beating me down, she was gonna protect me. She's still like that. I have gotten better at like training her to not be so mean. But man, like, who's judging you? What do they think about when you did this? Don't do that. People look at you. People think you're stupid. People think you're too loud. Don't laugh like that. Why are you laughing like that? Because y'all, my laugh is a very distinct laugh. If you watch any of my videos, I'm always laughing. And I laugh very loudly from time to time. Like, why are you laughing so loud? And then, of course, it shows up in your business, right? Because now you're on a masterclass or a challenge and you're presenting and you're laughing because you're enjoying what you're doing. And your inner critique is like, it's not funny. It's not funny what you laugh about. You're presenting content for people. You're giving value. You're about to pitch. Get serious. Focus on your slide deck. Bruh. I'm telling you, protection at any cost. At the cost of like whipping you to emotional shreds and running you through a emotional grinder. We will protect you from pain by causing more pain. No sense. But this is my psyche, and probably you're familiar with this. I know this is not a unique experience, and so I have always been in this position for the majority of my life, where I've never felt like I fit anywhere, where I've never felt like I belonged anywhere, and where I have longed for my people, my community, my people to do life with. And yeah, I decided that I wanted to change my homebody, forest, mountain kind of situation and step out of my comfort zone. But for a very long time, I did not have the courage to do it. I did a coaching program with the wonderful Ruthie. I'm actually going to put her links in the description box because she is amazing. Love her to death. I always recommend her whenever I talk about life coaching programs because she is the absolute best coach. She's also a brilliant business coach. But she runs a program called Self Leadership 1.0. And I went through that program and finally got up the sort of gumption after finishing the program. I think it was like maybe 4 or 5 months after I finished the program, finally got up the gumption to do some of the things in my life that I'd always wanted to do, like learn to swim. Y'all, I went to one of the top schools in Jamaica in terms of swimming, right? And when it comes to swimming competitions, the Immaculate Conception High School always places first, second, or third. We are mermaids in that pool, okay? Ask me how Chelsea leaves Immaculate and don't know how to swim. Can't survive in a pool. I got drown. I could not explain this to you if I tried. And I'd always wanted to learn how to swim. I can't even tell you where that desire comes from. I mean, I did grow up on Little Mermaid, so maybe it's just a subconscious entrenchment at this point. And it's not like I don't have words for how I feel about water and the ocean and the sea, not because I am so overwhelmed by them, but because I feel very neutral about them. Like I haven't yet, if there are any emotions in response to these things, I have not yet like felt them in all their fervor to be able to have words to describe how I feel about them, which is ironic because I live on an island. I mean, I do love staring at the horizon, but I don't know why. So do with that what you will. And I suppose I did want to become a marine biologist. So Maybe because I love coral and ocean creatures. Maybe that's why I want to learn how to swim. Me discovering with you live. Fun times. In any case, I've always wanted to learn how to swim. And it was one of the things that was on my list of things that I wanted to do in my life. And so after completing this program with Ruthie, I was like, all right, we are buying the swim cap. We bought a swim cap specifically for black hair. For those of you who know the You Go Natural brand, that is what I bought, a red swim cap. And I was like, all right, we're going to figure out these lessons. So I start searching for swim coaches in Jamaica and finally found one. And what a kerfuffle. What a hullabaloo. Because Chelsea schedules the lesson and I'm supposed to confirm and did not know that didn't realize I was supposed to confirm. Never confirm with the coach. The coach is not at the swimming pool when I arrive. So I messaged, this is my first lesson here, y'all, for something that I've wanted to learn all my life and have been putting off because, again, homebody. Chelsea's living at her yard. Chelsea don't have no social life, no life outside of her house. All she do is go church and come home. That's it. And do her business. That's all. So imagine my situation when I reach the swimming pool and this coach is not there. And then I message this coach and it's basically like, ma'am, you should have confirmed and you didn't confirm, so I'm not there. I'm just like, to granny net back, when me I gonna if I was not so determined, and I think if I had not just completed a life coaching program and that gave me the tools to move toward my goals and the sort of conviction to move towards my goals, I would have left that goal alone for another several years. Because you mean after I get myself up and going and finally I'm learning, like I'm ready to learn how to swim. I have the swim cap. I'm doing the thing. Take myself out of my house, drive all the way in Kingston, 40 minutes to an hour drive because I'm driving in the morning in traffic from where I live, which is far. Go all the way into Kingston to go to this swim pool, this pool to take this swimming lesson. And the coach of the day, brother, miss me with this. I put a hot second there. I was like, no, I'm not do this now. I'm not do this. This was a waste of time. This was time that I could be spending working on my business. This is time. I have things to deliver for my clients. This is a waste of time. I'm not gonna do this. And then after I cool off, after I gave myself a day and cool off, I was like, Chelsea, this is a goal you've had for such a long time. You are not gonna walk away from this. I'm not gonna let you. So I went back, and your girl is now a swimmer. This was like, what, 3 years ago now I started? Y'all, I am so comfortable in the pool now. It's amazing. And I mean, there's still things that I'm working on, obviously. The goal is to like free dive and swim with whales one day. And sharks and manta rays. That is the goal. That's where we're headed. Oh my goodness, you know, it would be amazing. I haven't set this as like a full-on dream yet. But if I could swim in, like, go on one of those polar cruises and do like one of those swim with whale excursions, if we see any whales, because there's always a possibility that you don't, that would be amazing. Oh my god. Bucket list item. Just got at it. I hadn't like fully claimed that as a goal, so you're seeing it live. But yeah, I think that the reason why I tell that whole swimming story is because I think that me committing to that goal of swimming and following through on that conviction and that desire that I had for my life started a sort of snowball effect that allowed me to continue that conviction and commitment as I watched myself follow through on my own goals for myself, give myself the desires that I had in my heart for my life, actually like go out of my way and sort of be inconvenienced on my own behalf, step out of my comfort zone and do the things that I'd always wanted to do. It gave me the courage to then decide that I was going to step out of my comfort zone and build a social life. So your girl is building a social life at the ripe old age. The ripe old age of 33, 34, 35 years old. It's definitely been a process because, again, my lovely little Miss Inner Critic come back with a vengeance. She has entered the chat. You know how many times I go to an event and feel like I want to turn around and go back home? Because, baby, I'm the only one there who's interested in this. Half the time I drag my mother with me because I'm like, I don't want to be there by myself. And y'all, I have very, I don't know a lot of people who have as distinctly disconnected interests as I do. So I am interested in like language learning. So I will go to things in Jamaica like Korea Fest or Japan Fest that happened like earlier this year. And then I like things like D&D and TTRPGs. So I will look out for events on those things. And then I like cooking. So I'll like look out for cooking classes and baking classes. And like the interests are wide and varied. And I'm a Christian and I love the Lord. So I'll go to like a Christian concert. Like it's very those realms don't really connect. You know what I'm saying? They're not very connected. They're very all over the place. And so I think that I walk into the room sometimes and I am the only person in my party, so to speak. I'm by myself, I'm solo. And it is very uncomfortable because I don't know anyone. Everybody's already talking to people. I don't have nobody to talk to. So I take out my phone because I got to look like I'm doing something. not look awkward and alone and to be pitied like my inner critic voice is telling me I am. Right? Who's looking at me, who's judging me, if my pants look right, if my clothes look right, or do my pants stand out too much? Because like I love funky pants. So I have like a couple pairs that I consider very nice and I enjoy wearing. But like, are they too loud? Are they drawing attention in like a bad way? Like, bruh, the amount of like noise in my mind from even before I leave my house, because it's definitely a situation of like I wake up, I know I'm going to this whatever the event is, and I'm like I don't want to go. Every single time I want to stay home, no matter how much I wanted to go the night before. When I wake up, Chelsea doesn't want to go anymore. Chelsea wants to stay home. And so every single time it's a process of, no, Chelsea, you are going, you're going, you're going, you're going. Just talking myself through getting dressed and doing my hair properly and choosing my earrings and like putting on my shoes and getting in the car and driving out the gate and not turning around when I'm halfway there. And then getting out of the car when I arrive and actually going in and being my cheerful, joyful self, regardless of what I think people will think about me because my inner critic voice is too damn loud. It's always a process. It is getting easier. And the inertia is not as much anymore because I've been practicing this for nearly a year now, as I said. But it never completely goes away. It never completely goes away. Thankfully, I think that, as I said, I've watched myself follow through on my convictions about bringing into my life the realities that I want enough that I now have the conviction that I need to keep going, regardless of how I feel about it. And I had the courage to start pursuing a social life after not having it for several years. And the conviction to continue pursuing it even when I felt uncomfortable, because I remember the first couple of times that I went to there's this like youth meeting that I go to every week, young adult meeting, and we get together, we praise the Lord, we talk about Jesus, we do Bible study, that kind of thing. And I remember going the first couple of times, seeing people that I know, again, seeing people that love me, care about me, but we don't do life together. So it's not like they check in on me or they message me or anything like that. And seeing them and being like, okay, I know somebody here, but they have their friends and they're talking to their friends. And so Chelsea is sitting by herself. I mean, y'all, this is still the case. I still find myself by myself most times, scrolling my phone, looking around, people watching, waiting for the event to start. And then, like during worship, I put my hands up, I'm worshiping. I don't business about anybody else, but of course, inner critic in the back of my head is like, what will they think about you putting your hands up? What will they think about you shouting hallelujah? What will they think about how loud you're being? Like, and I just have to be like, listen, if it's one thing you're not going to do is stop me from worshiping Jesus, that is not allowed. You can stop me from doing everything else, but that we're not doing. So it's still, I say all that to say it's still very much like a process, and it's gotten easier, but it hasn't gotten easy. But I think that I am also very clear that this is what I want for my life. Like, I'm not trying to do my life by myself. I'm trying to do my life in community. I'm trying to do my life with people. And what that means and looks like is I have to be with people. I can't do my life with people by myself. Those two things don't work. It's not even an oxymoron. It's not possible. And so because I'm clear on that, we will keep being uncomfortable. We will keep training our inner critic to like, shh. We're doing the thing that we want to do. We're bringing into our lives the reality that we want to create for ourselves. We will not isolate ourselves. We will not stay in our comfort zone anymore. And I'll be real, y'all. Sometimes I don't have the energy for it, especially when I'm on certain parts of my cycle. I'm like, no, we're not going anywhere. I'll see events that I would have wanted to go to, and I'm just like, I don't have it. I don't have it today, and I'm not going. Like, I think Korea Fest was recent here in Jamaica, and I didn't go. And I wanted to go because the last time I went, they had a taekwondo presentation, and I missed it. I missed it because I came too late. And I was like, dang it, I would have wanted to see that. I tried out my hanbok. I went to the booth where you could dress up in a hanbok. And I went to the booth where you could get your name written in Korean. Y'all, I was so thrilled. I did not expect the joy that would bubble up inside of me being at Korea Fest the first time I went. It was amazing. It was amazing. It was simple things. Getting like my name written in Korean, learning how, I think I went to another booth where they made like these the Squid Game cookies. I don't remember the name of them right now. But they're the cookies in Squid Game that I think everybody knows. So I went to that booth and got like some of those cookies. It's like made of melted sugar. And then I tried on the hanbok, and I wanted to get some food as well. But by the time I was ready to get the food that I wanted to get, they were sold out because the lines were long. So I missed the taekwondo presentation and I missed the Korean food that I wanted. And I was like, cheese on peas. We're not do this again, next time. We're going to come back and we're not going to miss these two things. And Korea Fest came around this time and I was like, I don't have the energy to go. So sometimes I still don't push myself outside of my comfort zone. But I think that the fact that I even went to the first one and went by myself is massive. And I can see the growth and I can see the follow through. And I think the follow through is the biggest thing for me. It's like, all right, we're going to do the things that we say we're going to do. And the more things I follow through on, the more things I do that what I say I'm going to do, is the more I give myself and build conviction within myself to keep going and continue to add to my life the things that I want to add to my life. So yeah, I'm very grateful to the past version of myself that one did that life coaching program. Shout out to Ruthie again. Two, that had the courage to start swimming, because I think, as I said, I think that was the first domino. I think that was the thing that gave me the conviction to continue to add the things to my life that I want to add to my life. So that was committed to learning to swim and is still following through on that today. As a matter of fact, I have swimming on Thursday. I have swimming tomorrow. And then 3, that the version of myself that took the first step. And in spite of loud inner critic voices, and in spite of being really like, scared of the pain of like feeling like an outsider again, went and is still going and is still taking the steps to build a social life at this ripe old age because this is something that I want. It's something that I want in my life. So yeah, I think if you are in a position where you've been building your business for a very long time, like myself, and just been like in business world, it can be really easy to forget that there's a whole world out there of people who are not like us, but also have things to teach us. And I think that that's something that my younger version, like the young version of me, didn't quite get, is that she was always looking for people who liked the same things that she liked, so she could feel safe and comfortable among those people. And I think I realized now that I'm not going to find like people who like all the things that I like. That's very, very rare. And with all the random things that I like, I may not find anyone. But I think that does not preclude me from finding people who do like some of the things that I like, and with whom I feel safe, with whom I can take up space, and who want to see me and know me and want me in the room with them. And I think that I have to put myself out there to be found by those people and to find those people. And so I am grateful for the past version of myself who had like took the first step and said, yeah, we're going to follow through. We're going to keep going. We're uncomfortable. We hate this. I remember the first couple of times I went to that young people's meeting, y'all, I hated it. When I say I hated it, I really mean I hated it. I did not enjoy it at all. I was like, I feel so out of place. I feel nobody's talking to me, and I feel by myself. And it sucked. It sucked so hard. And like I said, I still feel that sometimes. Absolutely still feel that sometimes. But I think the follow through is key. So if you're in that situation and you've been building your business for a while and you haven't had a social life, you haven't gone out into your community, you haven't engaged with the world around you in a dang hot minute. And the community is something you want in your life. You want to do life with people. You're not trying to do life by yourself forever or for as long as you have this life. Then I would encourage you to start small. Take somebody with you, drag somebody with you, a sister, a friend, a parent. Like I said, sometimes I wrote my mother into these excursions, just drag her along. Start small, take somebody with you, and follow through. I think when you follow through, you give yourself the proof that you can do the hard thing to create the life that you want. And that intention of your heart becoming the reality of your life gives you fuel to continue to create that reality in its fullest and richest form.